Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Crowd Chair Podcast. And so today is NBA playoff picks. We have the play-in tournament actually is starting tonight, and I wanted to record this yesterday, but computer ran out of power and I couldn't find the charger. So I found it today, and so we're gonna get this party started. Don't want to take too much time because there is a lot to go through because we still got the play-in tournament, which, by the way, still think is stupid. And then, of course, we have sorry, the rest of the NBA playoffs itself. So I know that I said earlier. Now this is just going to be updates to the channel itself. I know I said I was going to do an NFL video right after the Super Bowl, of which I would go over all the teams, do like a off-season preview for them all. Instead, I'm kind of gonna go over what they've done in the off season when I'm gonna do a mock draft just before the NFL draft itself, which of course is in about 2 weeks. So you'll see a mock draft video for the NFL because the draft for the NFL is coming on Thursday the 27th. So on the 24th, I'll be doing a first round or somewhere around there before the NFL draft begins. I will do a first round mock draft going over just the entire first round. I'll be making a pick for each and every team. Um, and then I'm also gonna have, of course, the MLB season's underway. I did the MLB overview before the season began, and then I'll just be doing like an overview of the MLB every month because going over it every week is too much. So let's get on with these NBA playoffs. We got the play-in tournament starting tonight with the 7-8 games. Of course, we got 9 and 10 as well. So I'll just go with the 10-9 games first. And we're on the west side here. I'll just start with the west, go through the play-in, and then we'll do like play-in tournament first, then go round by round on each side. Uh, but Pelicans and Thunder. Now, the NBA, I have not watched a ton of this year. I've kept up with like the records and what's been happening, but really, other than that, I have not watched much NBA games, so I don't really know who. I haven't really paid much attention to like the stats or all that, so I don't really know a whole lot about some of these teams. Um, but the Oklahoma City Thunder, number 5 offense in the NBA, definitely a high scoring team. Pelicans somewhere in the middle. I'm not a big Thunder fan. I mean, they have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but really, what else do they have? Now, I mean, I could be totally wrong, and they have more than that, and they end up beating New Orleans. And the Pelicans still don't have Zion. He never seems to ever be healthy, but I like this Pelican team. They got C.J. McCollum, Jackson Hayes. Don't know how much he's done in the NBA though. And then they also got Brandon Ingram. So they got players. And they got a really good team. Now, if you really want to, I have some buddies from my church who do a podcast pretty much just on the NBA. I will link their channel in the description down below. They do a lot of NBA stuff. So if you want to check them out, go ahead. They'll be in the description down below. It's called Outside the Playbook. Um, I would recommend. Uh, and then we have for the 7-8 game on the West here, we have the LA Lakers taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. There always seems to be some hullabaloo going on in Minnesota. As last year there was some Jazz with not actually Utah Jazz, but there was some I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember if it was in the play-in game or what game it was, but uh, and whatever game, I think it might have been in the play-in game, there was some lady who tried to like chain herself to the rim. There was another lady who tried to glue herself to the floor. And then this year, Jaden McDaniels punches a wall and fractures his hand, and then Rudy Gobert punches a teammate and gets suspended. So, a lot of stuff going on in Minnesota. No Jaden McDaniels, though, for the Timberwolves, and no Rudy Gobert. I think the Lakers are in. more than a good enough position to win this game. I think they definitely are the better overall team. They're entirely healthy. They have both LeBron and AD. They have a couple other nice players around them as well. I never really understood the Rudy Gobert trade in the beginning when the Timberwolves made that deal. They gave up like their entire team, their entire future just to get him. And I'm like, okay, he's good. He's maybe worth 2 first rounders, and then maybe like a role player. He's not worth like four future first round picks and 5 former first round picks, all of which are good contributors. Like that was not a good trade, and honestly, I still don't think it was. But I got Lakers moving on. They beat the Grizzlies. They get the 7 seed, and they'll move on to play the 2. And then, oh, I'm sorry, and then I forgot the loser. And so this is how the play-in tournament works. It is a really weird format. So the winner of the 9-10 game uh, goes here. I don't know why it did that, but the winner of the 10-9 game goes here, and they move on because if you're a 7 or 8 seed, you get double elimination essentially. If you're in a 9 or 10, you have to win 2 games to get into the first round. I still think it's really dumb because the chances of a 9 or a 10 seed winning it all are none. But it is what it is. And then you got for the 8 seed, the Pelicans and the Timberwolves. I'm taking Minnesota. They'd have Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. That's enough for me to put them over the edge. No Zion for New Orleans. Should be a fun game, but I haven't watched much of the NBA this year, so I'm kind of clueless here. But uh, in a home game, I guess I like the Timberwolves. I don't really know. I'm just picking Minnesota. So we start at the top here. Now, looking at this entire West, I'm just gonna say, I think that the West this year. Now, I have. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I forgot to play in on the other side of the bracket here. So let's go to the other side. The 9-10 game on the East, we have the Toronto Raptors and the Chicago Bulls. Now, I am not a fan of either one of these teams. The Bulls have not stayed healthy, and even when they were healthy, just were not playing well at all. And the same thing goes to the Raptors. They weren't playing well at all either. And I guess I go with Toronto because they're home. I don't know. I don't know much about either of these two teams, but I've seen but the Bulls just have not looked good this year. So I'll go with the Raptors. And then we go to the other side here. We got the Miami Heat taking on the Atlanta Hawks, which Miami, I actually learned, is the worst offense in the NBA. Yeah, they're somehow worse than the Pistons, which to me is unbelievable that you can be worse than Detroit. But Miami's worse than Detroit, which to me I'm going, how is that possible? You have guys like Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, and they're the worst offense in the league? To me, that just is crazy. However, they are the number 2 defense in the league as well. Of course, Atlanta, they're number 3 offense in the league, and they're one of the worst defenses in the league. They're the 5th worst. So, very contrasting styles in this game. Loser will still get a home game in the next one if they do end up losing. So, whether Miami or Atlanta loses this game, they'll still have a chance to win again. I'm taking Miami. I don't understand how their offense is that bad. Their offense, I think, is way better than the last in the league, especially the Pistons. They're way better than Detroit, but I guess it hasn't lived up to that hype. Uh, but I definitely take Miami in this one over Atlanta. And then the Hawks, they go to the top here, taking on the Toronto Raptors. I'll I'll take Atlanta, I guess. I I don't really know. I don't like I said, I haven't watched much of the NBA this year. And so I haven't really seen much of these teams. But I'm going with Atlanta, sure. I mean, the chances of any of them really winning are pretty much zero anyway, but I'll take Atlanta. So now we go back to the West, and yeah, this is where I pretty much think anybody can win it. Because you mean even the Timberwolves, really, you go from 8-1. I don't. I think I don't know about the Pelicans and the Thunder, but you go from pretty much 8-1, and I think all those teams are very much, great teams. And I'm sure that everyone's going to have the Phoenix Suns as the favorites to come out of the West, and they, with what they have on their team now, what they with what they put together, yeah, if they don't go to the finals, I think something's wrong, and that would be a major disappointment considering that they spent their entire future on Kevin Durant. So, I mean, obviously, I think Phoenix is the favorite. But I think a big time dark horse, a team that could very much catch the Suns off guard, is Denver. And I am picking Denver to win this series against Minnesota, by the way. Uh, obviously, this is where it goes to 7 game series. And I am picking Denver to win in 5. I think the Timberwolves can get 1 game at home, and then Denver closes it out in the end. They win it in 5. Um, this Denver team is healthy and it's good. And the fact that it's healthy, I think, is a huge difference for Denver because every single time they get to the playoffs, they always are seemingly missing one of their top contributors, either whether it's Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr., somebody else. They're always missing somebody, and it's always just Nikola. It's always Jokic trying to do everything himself. This year, everyone is healthy and everyone's contributing and they have their entire team healthy. I think this is a very dangerous Denver team. You got to really watch out for them. I'm picking them to beat Minnesota in 5. Going to be a really dangerous team, I think, in these playoffs. And then we go to 4-5, which I think this is going to be a great series. The Phoenix Suns and the LA Clippers. The Clippers have a good team. Of course, they now have Russell Westbrook. I am not a Westbrook fan. I never have been. Ever really since his OKC days, he just hasn't really. I mean, he's been very good, but really after Houston, it kind of went downhill, and it hasn't been uphill since. But he's been good, I think, with the Clippers. Nah, I don't really know. Um, but I think the clear team. But it is going to be a really good series. I'm really excited to watch this. Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, Paul George, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, DeAndre Ayton, Zubats. I mean, you name it. There's loads of star power in this series. But I am picking Phoenix in 6. I think the Clippers are going to make this interesting. This could go to 7. But I got Phoenix in 6. I think the Suns are just too good of a team. The Clippers will give them a little bit of a challenge, but I think the Suns move on. They go to the second round, take on the Denver Nuggets. And then we have another really fun series here: the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors. These are number 1 and 2 offenses in the NBA. So there's gonna be a lot. If you want offense, you gotta get in this game. Obviously, both of these teams have played very well this year. I think both of these teams are really good. Both of these teams are very offensive. Obviously, Golden State with Steph Curry. The Kings have De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis. Really good players on both sides. I think this is going to be a 7 game series, but give me Golden State. I think they are slightly better. I mean, it's going to be really good. No matter what, I think this is going to be a very fun series. Give me Golden State to win in 7. I would not be surprised if the Kings won this in 7. They have not been in the playoffs forever. And I guarantee you that the fans over in Sacramento they're gonna be excited, and they're gonna be packing that house every game that they have at home against Golden State. This is obviously a Cali matchup, so I think that's gonna be a very fun series. Then we got the Memphis Grizzlies going up against the LA Lakers. I am not a Laker fan, as I do not like LeBron James. So um, the 2-7 here, the Grizzlies. This is a very young team. I do like Memphis's team overall, but they do have a problem, and that is I don't think they have anyone that can cover LeBron. I do think that they'll make this they'll at least make this competitive. I'm putting this as a 7-game series, but the Lakers, I think they just had a little bit of a mismatch over Memphis. Memphis does not really have a small forward that can be able. They don't really have anyone that can guard up against LeBron. So I got the Lakers moving on. They go to the second round, take on Golden State. Not happy about it because I do not like Golden State, or not Golden State. I do not like the LA Lakers, but it is what it is. They move on. And in the first round here, we got on the east side the Milwaukee Bucks and the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks have no defense. Milwaukee is going to win this one, I think. I think Milwaukee wins in a sweep. Atlanta just is not good. They're good. They're decent offensively, but they don't have any defense whatsoever. And tell me who in the heck is going to cover Giannis? No one. It's not going to be good for them. And so I got Atlanta winning, or not Atlanta, Milwaukee in a sweep here. And then we got the the Cavaliers and the New York Knicks in the next series here. I think this is a really underrated series. Now I really like obviously the other series should be really fun. The other 4 or 5 with the Clippers and Clippers and Suns. I don't know why I couldn't come up with that, but the Suns and Clippers should be a really good series. But honestly, so should this one. I mean, these are two very good teams. Um, and Cleveland's got a very young roster. The Knicks have some really nice guys as well. This should be very fun. I am going to go in this series. This should be very interesting, but I am going to go with Cleveland in 6. I think they have a little bit more power than the Knicks do. I think New York can make this interesting, but give me Cleveland to get a close one here against the Knicks. As they move on to the second round, and they'll take on the Milwaukee Bucks. And then we have in the next series here, I actually forgot to put the record in for the Nets, but the Philadelphia 76ers and then the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn obviously offloaded their entire roster, signing away Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, and of course they don't have James Harden either, so their entire trio is long gone. But they still made the playoffs, and they have a chance against Philly. I'm not even giving them one game here. Give me Philly in another sweep. I just, their team's gone. I mean, there's nothing left. They're a shell of their former selves at this point. Philly, I think, is just clearly the better team. Give me the Sixers. I mean, there's not really much else to say there. And then in this one, we have the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. Boston's a very good team. The number 4 offense in the NBA and the number 5 defense in the NBA. So they're top 5 in offense and defense. I think Miami's offense is better than advertised, though. So I mean I get Boston still winning this series, and I'll give Miami. I'll give Miami 2 games. I think Boston wins this one in 6, and they move on to take on the 76ers. I can't buy that Miami's the worst offense. Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. I think they're way better than the last offense in the league. They're way better than that. They should be. And so I got Boston still though. I'll give it to them in 6. Um, and that's the West, or not the West, the East. So now we go back to the West. Now we got the semis and Western Conference semis here. We got the Phoenix Suns and the Denver Nuggets. This should be very interesting because we saw Phoenix, who I think Denver's team is fully healthy, and this is going to be a very, very close series. I think this is going to come down to the wire, but I am going to give it to Phoenix in 7. Uh, I would not be surprised to see Denver beat Phoenix, though. Listen, this Denver team is healthy. Now, they are stuck against probably the most lethal team in Ohio with Durant, Eaton, Paul, and Booker, which is absolutely crazy. But I think Nuggets are gonna take Phoenix to 7, and Phoenix is gonna have to win this one, a very close one. I do have the Suns though moving on. Very close, very close series. But give me Phoenix in 7. Should be very fun now. Then we go down here. We have the Golden State Warriors and the LA Lakers. Now, Golden State actually has someone that can cover LeBron. I got Golden State. Um, I love Golden State. Now, yes, I love Steph Curry. Yes, I love Jordan Poole. Yes, I love the team. That's not why I picked Golden State over the Lakers. It's not why I picked Golden State over Sacramento. Um, I give the Lakers this one in 6. Not Lakers, Golden State this one in 6. They have someone that can cover LeBron, and when you have, I mean, that's the best player for LA, and they do have Davis as well. But the Warriors also have Draymond Green, and he can Draymond Green. The only thing he is good at is defense, and so um, I think the Lakers will make it interesting, but I like Golden State to take that series. They go to the semis, or they go to the Western Conference Finals up against the Phoenix Suns. Then you got the Milwaukee Bucks and the Cleveland Cavs. Cavs are young. Cavs are good. Cavs are not good enough to beat Milwaukee. Give me Milwaukee in 6. Um, Cleveland's going to win a couple games. They have the best. The Cavs actually have the best defense in the NBA. In terms of offense, Cleveland is not one of the best, but they're number one defense in the NBA. As for Milwaukee, they're kind of in the middle for both offense and defense. Milwaukee's just an all-around good team. Cleveland is very defensive. I got the Bucks winning it in 6. I think Cleveland will make it close, but uh, I got Milwaukee. Then we got the 76ers up against the Boston Celtics. Now, I don't really know how Philly is the 3 seed. I don't know how they ended up being that good. As really, they pretty much just have Joel Embiid and James Harden. Other than that, I really don't even know what else they have. I mean, they got PJ Tucker. Tobias Harris hasn't been good in like 3 years, it seems. Tyrese Maxey is a solid player. DeAnthony Melton's decent. Jalen McDaniels is okay. Um, Philly's team is okay, but I think Boston just is much better. I mean, you look at their roster, and you got guys like Malcolm Brogdon, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, Robert Williams. I mean, they're loaded top to bottom. They're young, they're good, they're talented. there's a reason why they're they're 57-25. I mean, I really like this team. I don't like Boston, but I think they're better than Philly. I'll give Philly two, I guess. I might be wrong on that. They might not even win. They might just win one. But I'll give Philly one. I'll give Philly one game or two games, and Boston moves on the to the Eastern Conference Finals, taking on the Milwaukee Bucks for a chance at the NBA Finals. And then we go to the Western Conference Finals, which is the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors. Expect fireworks. I mean, there's really no other way of putting that. This is going to be fireworks galore. You got the super team of the Phoenix Suns and the defending champs of the Golden State Warriors going at it. This is going to be an outstanding series. Whoever wins it is going to go to 7. I guarantee you that. It's really hard for me to choose because Phoenix, even with Durant, has been a little shaky. But the more games they get together, the better they're going to be. The chemistry is going to get together. The more they're going to get used to having each other on the same team. They're going to be fun to watch. I'm giving it to Phoenix again in 7. I could see Golden State end up winning it, and they go to the finals to take on either Milwaukee or Boston. But I got Phoenix in a 7-game series, and then Milwaukee and Boston between these two. Once again I think this is gonna be a 7-game series. Ain't no way either one of these two are gonna blow out each other. Bucks are pretty good. Boston's got. I think once again this is going to be a 7-game series. Either one of these two can win it. These two were back and forth during the regular season. I think it's Boston though who comes up with the slight edge. They want that championship, and they win it in 7, making their way to the NBA Finals to take on the Goliath of the Phoenix Suns. And then here in the NBA Finals, Suns and Celtics. Between the two, I know this seems like a big time story, but I am going to Phoenix again in 7 games, and they are my NBA champions. I mean, honestly, when you think about it, if they don't win the NBA Finals, it's going to be pretty sad and pretty bad if they don't win it all. Um, this is just a really good Phoenix team, and with now having Durant, having Ayton, having Paul, having Booker. I mean, there's so much star talent to go around for this Suns team, and I think it's gonna be too much for really a lot of people. Now they got a rough road to get through, as they're at least going to have to play the Clippers, and then they're likely going to have to play the Nuggets, which is already two nasty opponents. And then you got whoever's going to come out of the other side, which I mean I have as Golden State, but it's not Golden State. Man, that's not going to be an easy series either. So they got a long road ahead of them, and I think it'll definitely be. It's going to be a hard, gritty, grind out series pretty much every time that Phoenix is out there. But I got the Suns winning a very tough NBA Finals. They go all the way. They win it after losing to the Bucks. Boston gets there again, but just comes up short. And the Phoenix Suns end up winning it all. I'm sure Serbenski's gonna be very happy to hear me say that once this video goes up. But that's all for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We should have more videos coming out of NFL videos, MLB, all the different stuff will be coming out soon. But that's all for me. Until next time, adios, everyone.